welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and with me is Shail Bhatnagar. This is Market Today, where we share with you closing action on the D Street. Right now, absolutely flat on the Nifty, 22,485, just a mild downtick of about 3 or 4 odd points. The Nifty Bank is in the green zone, about 1/10% higher though. 48,729 could be seen as the level, but a lot of sectors are still holding up. So the realty index is the top moving sectoral index right now, 2% higher in trade. Metals 1.5% up. PSU banks almost 0.7% higher. You have the broader markets that are also doing well. Small and the mid cap indices holding on to gains. The Nifty Bank, financial services and the infra space that still holds on into the green, but half of the other part of the market is still lower. So IT, FMCG, autos, consumer durables, they are down in trade. And the good part is that the India VIX is lower by about half odd percent at 24.05. But the penultimate day, because tomorrow is when we get the exit poll results. Good afternoon, Shail.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sakshi, honestly, there's a bit of disappointment creeping in the last 15 minutes of trade. Just about, let's say, it's 2:30. Somewhere like 2 p.m., the Nifty was at 22,610, 612. And suddenly you have this bout of selling pressure that's come back into the sector. And this is quite disheartening because remember, this is possibly the last 1 hour before markets will be sealed as far as the exit poll is concerned, which is coming on Saturday, 6 p.m. And I was of the view that you'll see a very nice thick green tick on the Nifty and a very nice thick red tick on India VIX. Somehow that doesn't seem to be working out now. Be that as it may, Sakshi, it's the big boys day, and I'll just explain it in very simple terms. When you look at the top 5 traded counters on the NSE 500, they are now all large caps, which essentially means that the big boys are back in action, and now they are punting on the Nifty to take a position on what their understanding of the results of the exit poll will be. So if you look at how markets are at this point of time, well, it's Infosys that's the most active counter. About 2,300 crores worth of transactions have happened, and this Sakshi is post the dividend adjustment of 28 rupees. So Infosys is actually much higher if you remove the dividend projection to it. Then you have Reliance, HDFC Bank, L&T and Adani Enterprises, all trading between 1595 crores to 2300 crores. And the good part, Sakshi, is that 4 out of top 5 stocks in terms of volume are in the green. Even Reliance will again turn in the green. So the underlying granularity of the market is favoring bulls. Sadly, I was hoping we'll see 22,600, 22,650. Well, we are still at 236 and there is still 54 minutes of trade left. It always pays to be an optimist.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be joined by market experts who will be helping us which way should you be really swinging as far as the markets are trading right ahead of the exit polls and the final results. Nilesh Jain, AVP Technical Research at Centrum Broking, will be with us, and also Kunal Ramba, the founder of The Streets, also will be joining in. Nilesh with us. Warm welcome to you, Nilesh, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Well, just one day, or if you may say, just like how Shail pointed out, it's just about 45 minutes of trade left before we get that exit poll results. How would you really trade in this last hour?
Very good afternoon to you, Shailenji. Good afternoon, Sakshi, and good afternoon, everyone. So, as Shailen sir mentioned, we expect a big red tick in India VIX, and that is very much certainly we are expecting on Monday and Tuesday, both the days. And we expect a sharp pullback from here. Looking at the correction that we have seen in last 4 consecutive sessions, I think the positions are light. And looking at the rollover data that we have seen on the Bank Nifty front, which is lowest in last 3 years, so there is no aggressive long position has been carried forward. I think the positioning as of now is looking quite neutral. So yes, there could be possibility of some pullback from here. But as far as volatility is concerned, we expect Nifty to oscillate in a wider range. On the lower side, 21,800 is the major support. On the upside, 23,400, 23,500 could be the resistance zone. So that could be the broader range. As far as the narrow range is concerned, I think 22,000 to 23,000, that can be a 1,000 point trading range as of now. So yes, we should rather wait for the outcome to span out and better take a better view post election outcome.
Okay. Sakshi, let's look at places where there is absolutely no doubt that there is a massive bull market on, and those are the record highs. In this kind of a volatility, in this kind of uncertain, jittery, nervous, apprehensive environments, there are stocks which have hit record highs. Let's look at them. Okay, Adani Power, and it's not 1-2%, it's 11% higher at 779. So this is a perfect blowout. You have Jindal Stainless, 7% higher, 758. The heat in Delhi and in North India is prompting very sharp sales of everything from fridges to air conditioners. Therefore, Blue Star, ladies and gentlemen, about 4.5% higher, 1570. In fact, I was reading a very interesting statistic today, Sakshi. No new ACs are available. You have to book them in North India. And container rates have gone up 4 times in the last 30-35 days. Therefore, shipping of parts has become a bit expensive. So not only do you have to wait for your AC, but you have to pay a higher price for that as well. So have you bought one? You are sort of nodding your head like this.
No, I wanted to buy, I did not get, like you said. So I'm making with whatever ACs I have at home right now. So I couldn't add one more in this heat.
चलिए कोई बात नहीं, ब्लू स्टार का शेयर ले लीजिए, वो जल्दी मिल रहा है.
That's true. That's very true.
You know, there was this habit of mine, whatever depreciating asset I bought in life, I used to buy an appreciating asset in the form of that company stock price. वो 2-1 साल में जो आपने asset खरीदा वो free हो जाता था. Anyway, that's something different. NCC, I remember this is a stock that was discussed yesterday. It was a long-term pick by Dharmesh ji, I think. Okay. NCC is also at a record high, almost 290. Coromandel International, Oberoi, Motherson we've discussed many times. And of course, a stock that we haven't discussed much at all, Glaxo. This is a pharma MNC, 2546, a mild red tick, nevertheless a record high. So that's how it is, Sakshi. You know, when in doubt, look at the list of new highs. You know where the money is moving in, and you know where the trend is absolutely good. Nilesh ji, any view that you would have on Adani Power 12% higher?
So in the second half today, we have seen a good momentum, specifically in the Adani group. So Adani Power today hit a record high. So structure-wise, I think it is heading towards 1,000 kind of a mark. Although it may take time, but I think that's the next target for Adani Power. At 11-12% highs, I think it's not advisable to chase. Rather wait for some dip towards 740, 730. Ideally, the stop loss for the long position should be placed below 700. So existing longs, one can stay put. For fresh long, I think better wait for some dip. So within Adani Group, the stock that we are liking is Adani Port. So structure-wise, it is moving in a gradual up move, and the target for the Adani Port comes around 1,500 to 1,550. Stop loss can be placed below 1,400.
Okay, got that. So that's Adani Power. Anything else from the entire group that also interests you? The entire group is up and about. All the 10 stocks are up into the green. Adani Enterprise price is also 6% higher. Ports is also up by about 4.5%. And the entire group stocks are moving right ahead of the exit poll results. How should one be positioned?
Right, Sakshi. So as mentioned, Adani Port is looking strong. In fact, we usually see less volatility compared to the Adani other Adani stocks. So it's in a gradual up move, forming a height up and bottom formation and trading almost closer to its all-time high levels. So the target for Adani port comes around 1500, and the stop loss can be placed below 1400 on the closing basis. So that's slightly less volatile counter and giving more comfort. So Adani port can be looked at from a long point of view. And apart from that, Adani Enterprise, yes, here as well, we are witnessing a good move. So the target for Adani Enterprise comes around somewhere around 3600. And if somebody is already holding the long position, can keep a stop loss below 3280. And fresh long, it is better to avoid for the time being, better wait for dip towards 3300.
Okay, got that. So that's as far as the Adani group is concerned and the top choices that Nilesh has shared with us. What else would you be looking at? Would you look at PSUs? They're also rising, be it the PSU stocks from the defense basket, again from the power space, railway space, or the PSU banks for that matter. What really looks positive to you, and what will you buy right ahead of elections?
Right. So power-related stocks are looking positive. So within power space, Tata Power is one stock that is looking good, and the structure is hinting that it is likely to move towards 440 to 450. So that's the immediate target, and 421 should be the stop loss for the long position. So apart from power space, L&T is another stock from the large cap space. So from a volatility point of view, I think it is better to stick to the quality names. So L&T could be another bet from short to medium term point of view. The target on the upside comes around 3900. Stop loss can be placed below 3580.
Sakshi, I think the market is sending a very silent but a very powerful message to people who can see and people who can observe. You mentioned all 10 Adani stocks are up, but the quantum of the gain is also substantial. Adani Total Gas is 9% higher. Adani Enterprises is 6.5% higher. Adani Green is 4.5% higher. Adani Ports also 4% higher. This is for those who wish to take a message, there is one. And let's leave it at that.
And there is also another group, brokerage firm. I think Jefferies has also talked about 3 Adani stocks that they are positive on. In fact, they're talking about how Adani Group in FY24, the total profit of the group has jumped 55% to cross 30,000 odd crore rupees.
Okay.
So that's what Jefferies has pointed out. And the 3 stocks that they like, let me just quickly pull them out for our viewers. So they are betting big on Adani Power, on Adani Wilmar.
Yes.
And they're also positive on Adani Energy Solutions.
Okay. Sakshi, in this one, I think one of the best technical bets would be Adani Wilmar. I'll tell you why. The stock has halved. It got listed about 3 years ago. And we saw a peak of about 750, 800. And on the long term charts, once the show is over, I'll show you those charts. It's settled down. I mean, obviously things can go from bad to worse, but generally it doesn't happen in these kind of stocks. Nilesh ji, long term charts, monthly charts in particular, Adani Wilmar, what are they telling you?
So absolutely agreeing with you, because if you look at from past 6 to 8 months, it looks like it is forming a good base. So this base formation after a sharp decline is clearly an indication that accumulation is happening at a lower level. And a good part is that in today's breakout that we have seen, it's a kind of a triangle formation breakout with a good volume activity. So that is giving another confirmation that we are likely to witness a further up move from here. Not for a major upside, but at least for the target price of 400 to 410. Reason being, we can, if you look at the daily time frame chart, there is a double top formation clearly seen near about 410 levels. So we need another breakout above 410 for further up move to continue towards 480 to 500. But as of now, from current level, one can go long for the upside target of 400, keeping stop loss below 338.
Okay. Sakshi, the reason why I pointed out Adani Wilmar is that, sometimes retail investors get into this frenzy. They buy at the peak. Why sometimes? It always happens that way. And then what happens is, they sweat out the most painful part of the journey by seeing their capital half, और फिर वो गुस्से में आके बेच देते हैं. And it is from that day onwards that the stock starts to rise. So if we don't know how long the pain will continue in Adani Velmar, but I'm just telling you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you're thinking in terms of selling, you might as well hold out for 2 more months, is what my limited approach was. We always chase breakouts, we always chase monthly highs, weekly highs, daily highs, but somehow the real money is made when you look at a 200-month low. I'll show you one chart, Sakshi, on a 200-month low, and the name will surprise you.
Okay.
And that stock is at a record high in less than 8 months. So from a low of 200 months, it went to a record high.
Okay.
So we'll show you that.
Okay.
But for the moment, 248, and what's clicking is HDFC Bank. And the Nifty is up just 1 point.
Yeah.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is very discouraging for market observers like us. But Nilesh ji is here to guide us. Nilesh ji, क्या करें HDFC बैंक में 200 DMA के ऊपर?
Right, so it's a buy. Given the fact that it's a large cap and we have already witnessed a good correction, we have already witnessed a good time-wise correction as well. So a good, it seems like it is forming a good base, and since it has already taken off its 200 exponential moving average, so yes, it can be added from a point of view of 3 to 6 months. It's a positional bet. There are high probability that HDFC Bank will make an attempt to fill the gap. The gap area that we saw on 17th of January, that is placed somewhere around 1600 to 1650 zone. So that gap is likely to get filled from here. And during this kind of volatility, it is better to stick to the quality names. So yes, the HDFC Bank looks positive. One can go long at current level and keep some space to add if at all it slips below 1500 as well, because the major support is placed at somewhere around 1450. So that should be the stop loss for the long position, and target comes around 1600 to 1650.
Okay, got that. So that's the view coming in on HDFC Bank, and it's the Nifty Bank that's hovering about 0.3% higher. Financial services, private banks, and the PSU banks are definitely outperforming today as well. In the PSU banking space, where are you keeping your focus on, Nilesh, right now?
So our preferred bet continues to remain State Bank of India. Target price is 850 on immediate basis and 900 is a positional target. So the stock is constantly trading in a higher Tapan formation, and constantly it is also hitting a new record high as well. So yes, during market volatility, if at all we see any dip below 800 or maybe near about 800, that can be a good opportunity from a risk and reward point of view. The 50-day moving average support is somewhere placed around 780, so that should be the stop loss. And target, as I mentioned, one should keep a little position target, that's 900.
Okay, got that. So that's State Bank of India for you viewers as the top choice, as Nilesh has talked about. Nilesh, now the big buzzers, realty space and the metal space. No let up in the kind of rally that we are seeing in these two spaces. Of course, this realty for sure has outperformed all the sectors in the last fiscal year. Now, what is your own sense with the elections and post that? What exactly would you foresee for realty space?
So Nifty realty space as a whole has been one of the outperformer, as you have right. It has been in a secular uptrend as well. So structure wise, if you look at Nifty realty index, which is trading at 1014, and upside seems to be open up for 1100 to 1150 from a near term point of view. So within this space, the stocks that we are liking is Godrej Properties. That's our preferred bet. It has formed a good rounding bottom formation on the weekly time frame chart, and we saw the breakout from the levels of 2600. So it is near to those breakout levels, so risk and reward is also favorable. So 2600 should be the stop loss for the long, and target comes around 2900 to 3100. So that's the one stock that we are liking within Nifty realty pack.
Okay, Sakshi, I think I'll just take my eyes off the Nifty and let it be. Let's see where it closes. But there are stocks apart from record highs where we have upper circuits, and one of the favorites at market today has been Bikaji Foods, 10% higher at 597. This is a fresh high on the counter. So this is something that we are looking at. Transformers Rectifiers India Limited, 5% higher. This is circuit limit 7% for you. There are many stocks at upper circuit. Some names I don't want to take publicly, but 2 or 3 the ones that I mentioned. Liberty Shoes, 5% higher. Remember, this is a sectoral theme running in Campus Footwear, Liberty Shoes, Bata, all 3 of them moving substantially higher over the last 3 or 4 trading sessions. And well, these are the only names that I'd like to take. Let me see if there are any in the smaller indices. No. So we exhausted our supply of decently named balance sheets in NSE 500. Now, what else can I tell you which is providing hope to the market in this kind of an environment? Okay, let's look at volume buzzers, spaces where you have a very sharp uptick in price accompanied by a surge in volume. Canara Bank. This was our first pick today morning with Dharmesh ji, I think. 2.5% higher, 118. Actually, Avinash Gorakshakar, that was. And this is a stock split. The counter was earlier the top traded one, at least in the first 1.5 hour of trade, but then the blue chips took over. Nilesh ji, what does Canara Bank's charts tell you?
So Nifty PSU banking space as a whole, the structure looks positive. So we spoke about State Bank of India. The second and third preferred bet within the space comes around Canara Bank and BOB. So Can Bank, the structure is looking positive. Currently, it is in a consolidation zone. But once they take out 120.11 on the upside, we might see further uptick towards a new record high. Immediate target comes around 125 and position target comes around 135 to 140. So the support for this particular counter is placed somewhere around 110. So that should be the stop loss for the longs.
Okay, 1 or 2 more counters that are actually doing very well. One is PB Fintech. Let's look at Policy Bazaar. Of course, it's the entire insurance space that has been in the thick of action. And apart from, say an SBI Life, which is also in the top movers on the Nifty, HDFC Life, LIC we had discussed a few days ago. Again, LIC is above 1,000 levels, 1.3% higher. So the entire insurance pack is moving. But on Policy Bazaar, we are seeing a 6.5% kind of a move today. Your sense, Nilesh, on this one?
So structure-wise, no doubt, it is in an uptrend as well, and we might see the levels of 1350 to 1400. The support for this particular counter is somewhere placed around 1180. So first of all, that should be the stop loss for the long position. Looking at the today's volume activity and a price breakout, I think there will be a follow-up move going forward, which will take this particular counter towards 1300 to 1350. So yes, structure looks slightly on a positive side.
Structure looks on the positive side right now. Let me pick out any other big gainers from the broader markets that I can for all of our viewers. I'll take a few names. After a long haul, Bharat Rasayan, that's up 16%. Venus Remedies is up 12.8% higher in trade. Vesuvius India is up 10.5%. We have Techno Electric, that's been in action for the last few days also, again about a 10% move on the upside for this one. Of course, apart from this, PTC Industries is up 8.5% higher. Kirloskar Brothers, as Shell always points out, that's also up and about in trade. NLC India is up 7% higher in trade, and Jindal Stainless is up by 7% again. Anything that strikes your attention within these names, Nilesh, that you'd like to also give your views on?
So one stock, that's NLC India, after a correction of almost 6-7 consecutive sessions, today it is giving a good reversal. So reversal is coming exactly from a rising trend line support. So there could be possibility of a follow-up move here. So NLC India looks positive for 240, 250 kind of level on the upside. Stop loss should be placed below 221, and the upside, as I mentioned, position target comes around 250 plus.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 2:57. We have 33 minutes left for the markets to finally seal the fate of what they think the national elections will yield. Thankfully, it's back in the green above 22,514, and let's just say that hopes for a sustained short covering are now slowly but surely fading. Be that as it may, markets have this habit of disappointing you in the short term, but the overall picture looks fairly okay. 191 points for the bank nifty. We are at 48,887, and this actually has been the defining feature for the last 2 days, which is the Nifty Bank is higher than Nifty. That's okay, but these are dichotomies that define our jobs. There was this lovely joke going around in WhatsApp groups as to what the Nifty was trying to tell market men yesterday and what the bank Nifty was trying to tell market men. I'm sure Nilesh bhai, you also got that WhatsApp.
Yeah, right. So that's the message is getting circulated. So, the good part is that people are so innovative. Everything is getting related to the stock market. So, memes are, flooded related to stock market as well as election. So, yes, we should enjoy. We can't do anything apart from that.
We can't share that WhatsApp with you because it would be sort of not in the right phase. But yes, some of the WhatsApp they come these days, they are very hilarious. Maybe someday we'll write a book on them and show them to you. Okay, 3 p.m. and I believe Mr. Kunal Rambhia has also joined us. Thank you, Nilesh, for this a lovely discourse on what you feel the markets are. And are you, as a house, are you light on the market before the event, or do you have a view?
No, so we are going neutral. So we are light, absolutely. So we have not taken any aggressive stand or any side of the outcome. So we are going neutral. We are playing strategies to hedge the portfolio. But as far as the long shots are concerned, we are going neutral.
Chalo, good luck to you, and we'll touch base on Monday. And here's wishing you all the best, and let's hope that it works out best for your hedges and best for your passive portfolio for your clients. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Kunal Rambhia is with us, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Kunal, a warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. So we'll start off with you and by asking you, what are you penciling in terms of the exit poll results? What's your own prediction and what will that do to the markets on Monday?
Good afternoon, Sakshi. Good afternoon, Shelster, and to all our viewers. So if I look at the overall index performance, to be very honest, markets have seen multiple elections also in the past. Pandemics have also been seen. Social and political unrest is also been discounted. So if I look at the market as of now, rather than focusing on such data, I'll focus more on my risk reward ratio where I'm getting good opportunities. And that's what is a advice to all our viewers also. Then rather than predicting such uncertain event, we should actually be focusing on the price action more and find out good opportunities with favorable risk reward ratio. I think markets have its own way of trading and continuing in the trend. As of now, if I look at the indices, they are absolutely trending. And so the idea will be to buy on dip and of course find out the buying opportunity itself.
So where exactly have you found the buying opportunity over the last 10 days when the markets gave you those dips?
Absolutely. So if you look at the selected PSU banks, which we have been discussing since quite a long time, I think there are good pockets available where the buying opportunity is seen. The counters like BSE, which is, zooming in trade today, it's giving a good breakout today. So yes, that's also a counter which is on the radar. Also, we have the LIC, which has given good results. And after the result, of course, the breakout has been seen and today has been the retesting day. So I'm getting good opportunity. HDFC life insurance, the counter has not really performed at all. Available near to the support with favorable risk reward ratio. IDBI again is a counter. There are so many counters. Of course, we'll keep on discussing in the show. But yeah, these are the counters where I'm keeping an eye to initiate the buys with a positional approach.
Okay. Kunal, in terms of the overall positioning of your own portfolio, as also for your clients. What is your view for Monday?
So, Shell sir, the view is very clear that unless and until the Nifty goes decisively below 22,350 to 22,400 levels, we'll keep on buying. So, the positions are not recently created for the event as such, but the positions which are definitely open are just open with a trailing stop loss in mind, and that stop loss is to be maintained on a closing basis. So, support level on the Nifty is 22,400, and keeping that in mind, even for the day, we have kept on buying itself. There is no selling signal anywhere.
Okay, if you may, if I may ask, maybe a couple of stocks or futures, if you could name that you've purchased. Now, this is a very interesting strategy, ladies and gentlemen. I'll request your attention, please. So, the stop loss is on the Nifty, and the purchase is on the stock. This is very, very interesting. Kunal, if you could just share a couple of names on stocks or stock futures that you've purchased today.
Right. So, Shell sir, the idea is that if the market remains positive and the trend continues, then definitely the stocks will also see some kind of momentum coming in. So, the first counter which we initiated a buy is HDFC Life itself. Now, the interesting data on this is that if you go back and check out the May 2023 levels, the counter was at around 540, 545 levels. Today in trade, it's trading near to 550 levels itself. And if you look at the trend line since inception, I'm talking about the weekly chart, the counter is right onto the support. So with the stop loss of around 15 to 20 points, this seems to be a perfect trade. So that's the reason, keeping the stop loss on Nifty and buying HDFC Life is making sense as of now. So with the stop loss of around 535, 540 on a closing basis, HDFC Life is looking attractive. As of now, it's trading near to the day's low itself. Risk reward ratio is extremely favorable. Coming to non-FNO counters, then the first counter which I have picked up is Indian Overseas Bank. Again, the trend has been positive since Jan 2024. Counter in today's trade is within the previous day's range itself. Falling wedge formation is seen on the day on the 15-minute charts. Superb trigger has happened. So with the stop loss of 65, I think IOB can also be a good candidate with a target of around 80, 85 levels. So these are a couple of non-FNO and FNO counters which we have shortlisted.
Okay, so those are the counters. Let's again focus on the PSU stocks, which are again showing strength. So BEML is up 5% higher in trade right now. BEL is about 2% higher. BHEL is up about 2.5% higher. Concord is up by 0.7%. Let's also pull up the shipbuilder stocks and see if there is any momentum there. Cochin, Massicon, HAL, which we have been consistently looking at as well. Flattish trade on those. But how are you looking at BEML, BEL, BDL kind of stocks after the earnings as well?
See, Sakshi, again, the trend is absolutely been positive, and that's the beauty of these counters, right? They just rally for a day or two significantly, then goes into sideways consolidation. The same thing happened with BEML. We saw the massive rally on I guess around 22nd of May when the counter was up by around 9%. Since then, it just went into sideways consolidation, and today it's showing again a momentum. It's a kind of channel formation with a breakout. So breakout is placed at around 4,500. It has just come down a bit, but yeah, the trend is absolutely positive. So such kind of counters we should always accumulate in the panic situation. Yeah, there was a panic yesterday, so that's a good time to initiate a buy. If someone wants to initiate buy today, the stop loss can be 4,200, and one can definitely hold on. I think this trend might just continue rather than assuming and to what extent the price can go and keeping the target. One should keep trailing the stop loss where the wealth creation opportunities are still available.
I think we'll just show you the long-term chart of BEML, ladies and gentlemen. Less than a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, this was at 2,700, and the stock had actually gone all the way up to 4,000, and then corrected substantially. Maybe if we can just go, okay, this is the time frame. Okay, if you see the dip there, right in the middle between 30th November and 30th May, it had corrected to 2,700 rupees. I'll tell you the right date as well, and from then on BEML has again reclaimed its past glory. Sharad Avasthi was with us yesterday, and he mentioned BEML as perhaps one of the value picks that he had in mind. Okay, gentlemen, so on 13th of March, the stock was exactly at 2778, and from then on 27 minus 44 is 1700, 1700 on 2700 is 63%. That's the rally in less than 2 months. Kunalji, I think you should come every day and tell us where there is pain in the market.
So the trending counters will always have good opportunities for everyone, almost every day. And that's
Okay.
the beauty of trend, right? If we follow the trend, we can always capture such kind of opportunities on a regular basis. And it would be my pleasure to be often available on the channel for all our viewers also.
क्या बात है, गेस्ट टेस्ट से बात करते हैं आपके लिए. So Sakshi, the pain today is in the Nifty IT index, now 1.5% lower. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the above of Wall Street. 500 points down for you. 32,321. This is at a multi-month low. You saw these prices in November 2023, and the reason is that the US tech giant Salesforce has cut its guidance, and that resulted in a 20% downtick on the US stock. The US stock has Indian outsourcers such as L&T Mindtree and a couple more. They themselves are in pain, and that's the reason why the index is where it is today. 309 Sakshi, 21 minutes left. The Nifty is vacillating between gains and losses, but maybe it will shut shop above 22,500 today. That's the only hope that I have left for the markets today.
Okay, I'll revisit the stock that I just checked 5 minutes back, PB Fintech. It was up 5% then, it's up 10.5%.
क्या बात है.
Remember, as part of the reshuffle in the MSCI Global Index, PB Fintech is one of the stocks that has been included, and probably that is one trigger. 10.9% higher, a very sharp spike that could be seen. 13.19. Kunal, let's take your view here. Would you still buy PB Fintech after this spike?
See, Sakshi, actually, this counter has not even started its momentum since April 2024. Yes, it's given a very good rally in the intraday, but if you look at the overall formation since April 2024, the support is at around 1200 level, and on the higher side, this counter is facing the resistance of around 1375. So, by any chance, if the counter manages to go above 1375, which seems to be likely looking at the volume action today, I think this counter might just show us the levels of 1650 to 1700. So yes, I'll be comfortable buying on breakout. I might not buy right now. I'll wait for the breakout of 1375 to initiate the buy.
Okay, Sakshi, let me just give you an interesting aside on PB Fintech. How many insurance companies that are there that you think operate in India? I think they are about 8 or 9.
Yeah.
The business is extremely competitive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me one thing, where is the only place where you can compare these policies?
It's PB Fintech, Policy
Yes.
Bazaar.
So ladies and gentlemen, what has happened is that there is a change in the buying habits of people, and that's on this platform which you see in front of you. It's a long trend which is absolutely irreversible. You are not going to go to an agent to buy a policy, and the agent is not coming to you to sell a policy. All the comparisons and everything will be online, and the loan platform available for you is PB Fintech. We have seen a price of 400, 450 rupees maybe a year, 18 months earlier, and from then on the stock, let me just check what the all-time high is for you. That, ladies and gentlemen, is still in its listed month of November 2021 of 1470 rupees. Once that is taken out, there will be no looking back. In any case, there has been no looking back since February of 2023, when the low on the counter was 390 rupees, and between February of 2023 and June of 2024, you've had 12 plus 4, 16 months. Sakshi, in 16 months, there are only 3 negative monthly closes. So that, ladies and gentlemen, points to how higher lows and higher highs are being made in this chart. I'll request our PCR team to fire the longest possible chart of PB Fintech to show not only the percentage rise but also how the chart is structured. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how buying preference has shifted. So you see the low before 21 1st Feb, which was 370 rupees. From then on, the stock is up 3.5 times, Sakshi, in a span of 18 months.
Sharp move right there, and what recovery, and Kunal believes that there is further move that can be expected after 1375 kind of a breakout happens. Then the stock would be poised to move higher to even 1700, 1800 kind of levels as well. Let's also look at some of the other stocks that got included as a part of this MSCI rejig. Apart from PB Fintech, even Torrent Power is up and about. That's got included. Phoenix Mills is another one that got included. NHPC is in momentum. That stock also got included. Indus Towers is another one that's moving sharply. So you can see Torrent Power sharp spike there, 3.7% it came down. NHPC is up 5% right now. Sharp move on this one as well. Let's look at Indus Towers. Let's also look at Jindal Stainless. And let's also look at Bosch and JSW Energy, Mankind Pharma and Canara Bank. These are the stocks that I've got included, and most of them, look at Jindal Stainless, it's 12% higher today. A lot of this momentum is building onto these stocks right now. Anything else apart from the PB Fintech counter that we've discussed, what has got included? Of course, flows are expected into these counters with this inclusion. Where would you be putting in fresh money, Kunal?
See, again, Sakshi, because as we just discussed in the beginning of the show itself, right, that we'll wait for this uncertain event to be little over. But yeah, the counters which are which are available near to the support, I'm very much comfortable. Let me just share first counter with you, everyone, and that's again my all-time favorite. That's LIC. This counter gave a breakout on specifically on 21st of May itself. The counter was up by around 5%. Counter gave a breakout at 1010. Right now, also it's available near to 1007 itself after making a high. So we call it as a retesting. So with the stop loss of just 975, one can initiate a buy on LIC. I think this counter can show us the levels of 1120 to 1130. The second counter, which I like the most at this point in time, is Strides Pharma. Again, we have been sharing this since quite a long time, and if you look at last 2 years of data, the counter has not even made a single lower top lower bottom. It's just moving positive. It's been 4 months. The counter has made the support level at around 830 yesterday, day before yesterday. It was at around 825, 830. And see today, it's 870 again. I think these are the counters which are offering good risk reward also. And the trend is absolutely positive. So at this point in time, these two counters are looking very attractive.
Okay. So actually, let's look at where the market is putting the money, right? So again, I went into that list of 54 stocks that you mentioned in a reel yesterday, CLSA. Right?
Yeah.
So 3, NLC India, 8.6% higher. This is the top performing PSU stock. HUDCO, almost 5% higher, 274.75. This might be a record high. And of course, BHEL. I just saw the stock ticking close to 300, 2.9% higher. So what is actually happening is that again, low ticket high beta is doing fabulously well. Look at J&K Bank, 4.5% higher, 132. NMDC 4.5% higher, 260. NBCC 3.5% higher, 142.45. And we have now 14 minutes left as far as prices are concerned. On purpose, I will not mark the Nifty. Najar lag jati hai. Let Sakshi do it this time. Maybe Lady Luck will count.
Well, let's hope so. And you can see 22,555 now, ticking higher by 68 odd points as far as the Nifty is concerned. So at least tell what you were believing, that perhaps the worst is now done. That may be in the offing for sure, because now you're seeing sharp recovery coming in place, and even though markets wanted to go in light ahead of the event,
yeah,
it started to recover its bottom already. Let's see and hope that remains so as well. But another fact that Kunal, I wanted to discuss with you is, within the PSU space, of course, we've discussed a whole host of stocks and sectors. Defense is something that we did not discuss. How will you really look at these defense counters now going forward?
So Sakshi, let me just get an example of HAL for everyone. Now again, this counter showed the massive rally. Somewhere in the beginning of May, this counter was at around 3,700. And just 3-4 days back, it made a high of around 5,300 points. And it's been 5 days again sideways consolidation. The volumes are not massive in the correction phase. That's the time correction. So we'll just wait. I know these kind of counters we should not be buying on the breakout, but rather we should be waiting for this consolidation at least to come to an end. So for now, I've kept the levels of around 5,025 to 5,050 in my mind to initiate a buy. By any chance the counter goes above that, we'll buy at that point in time with the nearest stop loss of 4,900, keeping in mind. Otherwise, the risk reward ratio for such counters is very unfavorable. But yeah, till the time the trend continues, we can trail the stop loss, hold the position, and create new position with a pyramid style with the nearest new stop loss in mind. So this is how I'm approaching the entire space.
Okay, let's do some more market spotting, Sakshi. I think the less you watch the Nifty, the better it does. Okay, Jupiter Wagons, 5% higher. We are going to change a digit on this one, closer to 600. Wagon makers in thick demand, Titagarh, 4% higher, 1414. I want to see what Texrail is doing. Okay, Texrail is negative, not to worry. Okay, then Railtel, 2% higher, 415. Container Corporation, a percent higher, 1076. Sakshi, there's another positioning happening in the market that is on auto stocks. Remember, on the weekend, which is tomorrow and day after, you will have the entire auto fraternity coming up with numbers. Therefore, Eicher Motors days high, only 0.5% higher, but one must understand that that is how the markets are. The second call early morning was Hero Motors with Kiranji of JNM Broking. Let's see that on the charts as well. And we'll also look at how the positioning is for four-wheelers. Let me just pop this up as far as prices are concerned. Bajaj Auto, wow, it's crossed 9100 again, 1.5% higher. M&M, incidentally, is the best performing Nifty stock for the month of May, up 16%, 2514, a percent higher. And of course, I just want to see what Maruti is doing. Maybe we can just pull it up on the screen. That will be there. And Sakshi, a digit change in BHEL, now back above 300, 300.4. And of course, Tata Power, 3% higher, 438. I think weekend power consumption would be the highest ever.
Absolutely, at 52.3, there is no doubt about it that we are consuming more power than ever before. It's 120 years kind of a record that's broken in Delhi with the kind of temperatures that have surged. So I'm guessing that will be the case right here. Power space, Kunal, for you, what would be your pecking order in terms of top 2 or 3 ideas that you will select within the power pack?
It's actually not much. Actually, I'm just trading a couple of counters. The first is Tata Power, which I like the most. Again, because this counter has consistently made higher top, higher bottom since its first breakout on 6th of December. That day, the counter was up by 5%. Next day, it just went up by almost 10-11%. Since then, it's clearly making higher top, higher bottom. Again, at today's level, one can initiate a buy. The stop loss will be 415. We'll have to keep little room for breathing, right? So that's going to be 415. And the targets can just be open. For short-term traders, the target can be 465. So this is the most preferred counter. If I look at Torrent Power, again, that counter was giving comfort, but today it has given a big spike and it just came down. So I'll turn little cautious, but yeah, for the trend follower, the stop loss can be 1400. With that, one can hold on to the position. Above 1600, I think the targets can be 1850 also.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, 9 minutes left, and mention the level of the Nifty. Let me stick to Bank Nifty. 400 points higher at 49,103. So, ladies and gentlemen, the all-time high that we've seen on the Bank Nifty is 50,000. If you remove the uncertainty on Monday morning, I would imagine that we are headed towards a record high. Remember, this is the loan index apart from the IT index and the FMCG index, which has not climbed to record peaks. So there's hope there, and there's hope there because of stocks like Axis Bank and SBI, which are sort of clicking fairly well and deep in the green. Kunal, your favorite pick as far as the large cap SBI and the 4 private sector banks are concerned?
Sure, sir. Personally, I like HDFC Bank the most. The only reason being the counter is almost near to the breakout. Now, if you look at the chart of 17th of January, counter was down by around 8.5%, which dragged the Bank Nifty down by almost 1,200 points on that day. Since then, the counter is in sideways consolidation. Almost 4 attempts were made by the counter to break 1530, 1540 mark. It's been a failure. I think this time it will give a decisive breakout with the cup and handle formation. I think well poised for a new rally from the present level. So stop loss being 1485. One can initiate a buy on HDFC Bank, and the targets can be 1650 to 1680.
Okay, got that. So that's HDFC Bank for you, and of course, it's the top contributor to Nifty right now in the gains that are coming in, and it's also helped the Nifty Bank recover over 500 points from the day's low, as well as the top contributor right now. So we'll continue to watch out for how HDFC Bank really plays out from here as well. Let's again look at the other spaces. Metals. About 2% higher in trade. Kunal, how are you positioning yourself on metals? There is a divided view out there on the street on the metals. There are some analysts and brokerage houses that believe that probably this could be the onset of a sharp long-term rally on metals, but the others still believe in the cyclicality of it and the uncertainties in the globe that may continue to weigh on. How would you really look at metals?
See, all said and done, Sakshi, the trend is absolutely positive again. I just pick up two counters which I love the most. First is Jindal Steel and Power. Look at the counter. A decisive rally on 21st of May. Counter was up by around 5%. Today is back to the same level itself. It's making a higher bottom and good consolidation near 1030. So with the stop loss of I think 1000 levels, one can initiate a buy on Jindal Steel and Power. It's looking attractive. Look at JSL. And today's trend, today it just went up by 12%, 12.5%, and the trend is absolutely intact. Not even a single lower top, lower bottom in last 2 years. So, these are the counters where I'm getting more comfort. So with the stop loss of around 730, one can hold on to it. Now, I'll not advise to buy at JSL at this level, but with the trailing stop loss of around 735, one can definitely hold on. In decline, one can definitely accumulate this. I think these trends might just continue as of now. And if at all, we see the positive outcome of this election and the things turn as expected by the market participants, I think there is more room for upside for the metal sectors.
Okay, Sakshi, in Jindal Stainless, you will not believe that somewhere in the middle of 2020, the market capitalization of Jindal Stainless was 1/4 its top line.
Absolutely.
And at that point of time, Jindal Stainless was available at between 35 and 50 rupees.
Yes.
Today we are talking at, like I said in the morning, we seldom discuss Jindal Stainless, but one of the top wealth creators in India has been Jindal Stainless, and this is the top producer of stainless steel in the world. So, there is great value to be had provided we know where to look for. Today we are celebrating that value because it's been added to an index, but the sheer bulk of money has been made over the last 2 years when nobody was looking at it. At 31, 34, 35 rupees, we discussed it ad infinitum, and kise pata tha ki it will be a 20 bagger in less than maybe 3 years. Kunal.
Absolutely, Shell sir. And interesting observation that time was that this counter was showing. I mean, I'm just supporting the technical view of the same. After a massive correction of 2020, this counter came down to as low as 20 rupees, if I'm not mistaken. And from those levels, when it was recovering, near to 45 was a level where the first trigger had come. And the second trigger was around 115 levels. And look at this counter. It's just been a trending. And that's the reason, we should always, that's what I personally prefer to, that if you're sitting on the correct counter, which is in trend, just learn to hold the position with a trailing stop loss. The wealth creation might not just happen for a year or two, but if the trend is open, in this couple of years, we might just end up making 7x, 8x kind of returns on our portfolio also. And that's what is the learning from the market for all of us.
And similarly, Jindal Steel and Power, if the PCR can throw up a long-term chart, maybe 10, 12 years ago, somewhere in 2016, Sakshi, 70 rupees. and this is after a massive correction from I think 700. So from 700
Absolutely.
it moved to 70 rupees, and from 70 it's now at 1033, and for some people the rally is yet to begin. I mean, the good times are still to come. So all I am trying to say is that sheer long term wealth is made in buying the pain, and that's the reason why I showed you Adani Wilmar right there in the early part. You may not make money for the next 1 year or so, but that does not mean that you sell out in panic or you sell out in pain. Pain and panic are, you know, the same sides of the same coin, but that's how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Breakouts are for 2 or 3 days, but you have to be a deep sea diver to pluck out that pearl from the bottom of the ocean to make supernormal money. Sakshi, 33 points higher just on the Nifty. Disappointing.
Yes, a little bit disappointing right there, but that's all that we got. I think 2 minutes to go, but the good part is 22,500 will be held on. That's what we are hoping on for, and with respect to banks, for sure, they are leading from the front. But again, 49,000, we hope that we stay on to that course as well. Realty, metals, PSU banks, consumer durables, oil and gas, infrastructure, private banks, financial services, these are the top movers, and the good part is that the sectoral losers have shrunk in size. So autos, FMCG, pharma and IT, these are the only 4 sectors that are remaining in the red. Rest of them have actually moved up into the green as well. Top movers on the Nifty, you have Adani Enterprises, Adani Ports, Shriram Finance, Tata Steel, Coal India, Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Auto as the top movers. On the laggards front, you do have stocks like, say, Nestle, Divi's Laboratories, LTI Mindtree, Infosys, Dr. Reddy's and Tata Consumer as the top drags as of now. Again, F&O movers will have the Adani stocks and GMR Airports Infra, Vodafone also, that's moved up in trade today, and Shriram Transport Finance. Those are the big points that I wanted to share. Shall, anything else that you want to point out?
Well, Sakshi, I think it's been a great journey. The reason why I say it's been a great journey is that we've traversed from about 7,700 on the Nifty in May 2014 to 22,500 on Nifty alone. In a span of 10 years, the market has given a 2x return on Nifty alone. And individual stocks in the mid cap and the small cap space, ladies and gentlemen, have performed phenomenally well. The kind of wealth creation that we have seen is dramatic, and the kind of wealth creation that we will see beyond 4th of June will pale this rally into insignificance. So the kind of money India will make in the next 5 years, which is 2024 to 2029, will be more than what you have made in the previous 15 or previous 20 years. So while we do talk about intraday moves and so on and so forth, my suggestion is that you take this advice very seriously. If you haven't so far started a mutual fund SIP, you should start on 4th and stick to it till you can. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the only way wealth is created, and whatever we do on a daily basis is noise. That is necessary too, but sheer wealth, ladies and gentlemen, should you get a massive drop in the market, which most unlikely you will not. If you get a massive uptick, buy then also. And the best day to start an SIP is today. So please create wealth, not only for yourself, but for your future generations. And the lone place to create wealth in India, in the world, in the easiest possible way, is India. Sakshi.
Absolutely, Shell. Very well said, and that's what all the brokerage houses are pointing out too. Global brokerage houses have penciled in all the scenarios, and they are saying that be what may, come what may, the results of the elections this time around, but India's story will be strong. That's what has been the bottom line clearly for most of them. Kunal, thank you so much for being with us on this edition. And
Absolutely, my pleasure.
we will see you viewers on Sunday as well at 11 a.m. We will do a special session. So weekend is not ending just yet. It's just begun. And we will be coming back to analyze for you post the exit poll results. How will the markets open on Monday and what is the strategy that you need to follow? You need to be with us as the top market voices will be with us 11 a.m. live on Sunday.